And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review, and this is of Ice Age 4, better known as Ice Age Continental Drift. It was released back in 2012. It's fourth installment of this five-movie franchise. And I remember saying in my other reviews that this movie, the last three, I all gave pretty solid scores, 7 out of 10. And that's true. I mean, they're all pretty solid movies. They're not super great. They're not horrible either, but they're okay movies. But they're very enjoyable to watch. But after that, this one and the next one, like I said, they go very downhill. This was the beginning of the end for the Ice Age franchise, and I don't know what it was. I think it might have just been budget cuts. Might have been laziness. It might have just been like pretentiousness. It might have just been trying to keep up with the times and just really wasn't working anymore, or also trying to stick to an old narrative, or what. But, they had to. In the first movie, remember, they had to stick with the four other things that would be like the plot lines for the next few movies, but they wanted to do the fourth and fifth one for that reason. They didn't really want to otherwise. I don't know, but the production quality, or it's like the level of care that went into this movie, that went into the other ones, just wasn't there. It just wasn't there at all. It was lazy. It was just really just. It was just stupid. It didn't make any sense. All the stuff they were doing. They have to, like, okay, for example, the kid is now a teenager, and they're also trying to, like, they stick with all these cliche stuff about high school and liking the angsty popular boy, and not sticking with your friends, your true friends, because others think they're not cool enough, or not liking your dad because he's not cool enough, or stuff like that. And there's also, like, thrown in really stupid music that it really doesn't make any sense. There's, like, this parties and random other crap. And we get, like, the cliche character girl to this teenage character going through this stuff, realizing that the friends she was trying to be with are not actually that cool, and going back to her old friends and liking her parents again, or whatever the fuck not. But it's done around the time when Continental Drift happened, and Pangea broke up into the continents that we know today. And now that's broken off, though, this proves this little theory that Scrat started it all. Because remember, we got to talk about Scrat. Scrat's in this movie. Well, he's the one that kicks off all the problems, because the whole thing is about him trying to, find the acorn and jam it in the ground. And this time, when he jams it in the ground, the whole earth opens up, and he falls down to the core of the earth. And then he starts, like, spinning around, still trying to get the acorn, starts spinning around, and then ends up causing a lot of different changes in the Earth's motion, and causing the drifts and the cuts in the Earth and stuff like that. It's all because of Scrat. That's what we come from that. He kicks off this whole thing. A lot of the other parts of Scrat being in there are just thrown in there. It seems like in this final couple movies, they really throw in a lot of the breaks to see Scrat do random stuff. It's, like I said before, great hit with the kids, but it's even somehow more lazily done this time around. I don't understand. But what are you going to do? It's a cash grab. It's basically what it became at this point. But because the Earth is, like, breaking apart, Manny and the Sid and Diego, and also the grandma, we introduced this grandma character. Have you ever seen The Croods? And that grandma, pretty much the same thing, except she's in multiple movies, and she's very much elaborated on. But how she's introduced is Sid's family, who abandoned Sid off camera before the first movie, when they were beginning the migration. Abandoned him. They come back, and they come back to drop off the grandma because she's so annoying. Wants Sid to take care of her instead. And now they're stuck with her. And I know a lot of people back then especially were probably very fond of the character, because old person doing old person things and being a badass. Pretty much what it is. she can get kind of annoying, especially when she's in 2 movies, not just one. She's in the 5th one. We'll talk about the 5th one later, a little bit later on here on the channel. But yeah, it's pretty insane. But she is stuck with the main 3 on ice thing, while the mom and the daughter and everybody else, they now have to migrate to the land bridge because there's a big continental piece taking off their land, and they now have to migrate there to stop it. And again, like I said, that's the main antagonist in the movie, I'm guessing, because the main antagonist sure as hell, like, okay, I have to give some credit where credit is due. They actually somehow incorporated more of a physical main antagonist. Because many in the game become pirates. They become pirates. And they run into a rival pirate gang who kidnaps them. Remember, like a tiger and the monkey and like a rat and an elephant, a seal who's voiced by James Corden. Voices in this are so stupid. I mean, they got J-Lo, they got fucking Drake, and James Corden voices this elephant seal. Why? Just why? It makes no sense. And also, I mean, and then they like fight the gang, and then it's like, then they got this random whale that shows up because the grandma has a pet, apparently. It is really, really weird, and everything's kind of just thrown in there. I mean, the visuals are pretty much the same because it's Ice Age, and like the fights are okay. The main antagonists in this movie, though, I guess, are the pirates, are also like the Rush of Time, I guess. And they're incorporated well. The pirate part's incorporated pretty well. There's also like the mini guys, these little squeaky dudes who are meant to just be there for toys. They're kind of cool. I mean, they're incorporated well, but they're not anything special, I should say. They're kind of just lackluster thrown in there. And this whole movie's kind of a little bit lackluster. Everything just kind of stops making sense. Like the premise of them needing, like, breaking apart and how it's all set up because of the continental drift and the separation of the Earth's core and crust and stuff. That makes sense. How that got set up, it does not make sense at all. But it's a movie, not really supposed to make sense. But how that happened, but how it affects our main characters otherwise, that makes sense. Well, how they solve it and what goes on otherwise makes no sense whatsoever. And you think it gets bad there, wait until the 5th movie, because that is a whole different story. But I mean, it's okay. I mean, what more can I even say about this thing? It's super weird. It's just super stupid. I don't even know where to... So this is by far my least favorite out of the 5. I'll say that. It's really dumb. It really is. And no, there's no like overarching, like, it's not really that enjoyable to watch either. It became kind of a drag when we got to this part of the marathon. But I mean, if you're into this kind of stuff from 2012, you'll probably enjoy it, I guess. My final rating probably is going to have to be about a 5 out of 10. That might be... it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's not even close to the best. That's all I got to say about it. It's definitely, again, like my least favorite in the franchise. So, well, that's going to do it for this review of Ice Age Continental Drift. If there's anything I missed about this movie that you wanted me to talk about, let me know about it in the comment section down below. And what's your thoughts on this movie? Also let me know in the comment section down below. And stay tuned for the final review of the final Ice Age entry, Ice Age 5, coming up soon. And stay tuned for other more movie reviews and other much more amazing content. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.